invest in an all-in-one top that will offer you everything that you would need for your 2018 or newer two-door JL Wrangler, this Best Top Trek Top Glide Slant Back Soft Top in Premium Twill will be a solid option to consider. Now this will be a premium choice tailored to the JL owner looking for a thick, long-lasting top that won't just look good but have some unique functions that will make your life 10 times easier, allow a full convertible configuration as well as other open air options, and still keep that fastback sporty look to your JL. Now, a lot of fastback options for the two-door don't have a full convertible configuration because of the design, including the original Trek Top models, but this option it'll keep that fastback silhouette to the back of the Jeep while allowing you to run this in multiple different configurations, not just the convertible option. Now, one of those being fully closed, which is probably the most obvious one, allowing for full coverage, and this thicker material will protect you from the elements very well, insulate the inside a little bit better than lighter fabrics to keep more comfortable in the interior, and even deaden noise better. As we'll also have a Sunrider feature, which allows for a front seat partial open air ride that is very familiar to that Best Top brand. And to access it, you simply unlatch the front with these two hooks here, pop it up, and with the help of a cable assist, you can fold it back into itself on the sports bar and secure it down. You can also choose to take off the zipperless side and rear windows very easily for a bikini or safari style top design, where the back is completely open but still allows coverage to the top. And what makes this top so special is the convertible feature with the addition of Best Top's Sky Glide Action technology. Now, instead of fighting to fold the top and lower it down like the factory one that you're probably familiar with, this top will glide on a track and be able to be folded down and put up by one person because of the increased control and assistance that you get with this system. Now, when it's open, it will also rest right above the spare, so you can still have full, easy access to the tailgate and cargo area. Now, the entire kit here is made of a number of different materials, but the main one will be the top's fabric, as you can see here. And this option, again, is a bit thicker with a 40 mil premium twill construction. Now, it will be more expensive, but for good reason, considering that it's heavier weight for better climate control and sound deadening. It will be longer lasting and not tear as easily, and it will keep this deep black appearance to it with its UV resistance, so it will look good over time and avoid fading. Now, the windows on the back, they will be tinted. They'll also have a tough plastic insert to keep the structure of the back of the top. Each will have a plastic C-channel that slide into each other, in addition to the familiar plastic tab to tuck into the tub rail. And the kit will also come with a durable frame system, door surrounds, header, tailgate bar, and everything that you could possibly need for a hassle-free and modification-free install. Now, like I said, this is going to be a more premium choice at about $2,000, but keep in mind everything that I just told you about this top. This is going to be an investment with the unique features and the high quality materials that you don't see in every choice available in the category, which makes this stand out. Now, with that being said, this will also be more durable than other fabric options with a heavier and UV treated material. So again, if you're looking for a long lasting top that has all of those creature comforts that you need and want for your Wrangler, then this is going to be a fantastic choice to consider. Now, install here is going to be easy. It'll be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and it will take you about probably 2 hours to get the job done. Now, I would recommend installing this in warmer weather, specifically 70 degrees or above for the best fitment. Now, heat here is going to be your friend. It's going to allow the fabric to stretch properly for a hassle-free install. Now, at this point, however, we can head over to our shop and check out the install on our two-door JL here, so you can get this onto your two-door JL at home. So that's gonna wrap it up for what I have to say. Let's go ahead and get into that install.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, a 10mm wrench, a pair of scissors or diagonal cutters, a T15 Torx driver, an extension, 4mm Allen socket, T30, T40, and T50 Torx socket.
What's up, guys? Today we're installing a soft top on our Wrangler. First, we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory hardtop, and then I'll meet you right back here for the install.
The first step is to take the front 2 roof panels off. So let's head inside the cockpit and we'll go and unclamp those 2 panels. The first step to unlock our roof panels is to pull the clamp farthest to the passenger side down. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the driver's side. Next, we can go ahead and spin the 2 clamps in the center, and then we just have to move to the back of the panels. Then we have 1 clamp on the back side, the driver's side, and then an identical one on the passenger side, and then 2 in the center. Now that we have our 2 roof panels unclamped, we can go ahead and lift them off the top of the vehicle. Just gonna reach my hand in, slide it out, and carry that one away. Once you have this side off, you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Now we're ready to go ahead and pull the rear portion of the hardtop up. Before we undo any bolts, what we're gonna do is go to the driver's side rear and undo 2 plugs there. Then there are 6 T50 Torx bolts around the base of the hardtop, and then 2 more of those Torx bolts up on top. So here we are at the driver's side rear of the hardtop, and we got these 2 plugs here. This one is for the power to the windshield wiper on the back glass, and this is the hose for the windshield washer fluid that goes to the back glass. We're gonna start by pulling this larger plug here, pull the red safety release tab down, pull the plug off, and then push this chrome tab down on the hose, pull it off. And now we're ready to start taking the bolts out. So to take this first bolt out, it's a T50. Here I have my T50 Torx bolt on an impact. I'm gonna pull that out. Then we can move on to the other 2 farther back than that, doing the same thing. Pull that guy out. And then 1 more all the way in the back. This one might be a little tough to reach. Now that we have all those bolts out of the driver's side, we can go ahead and do the exact same thing on the passenger side. Now we're ready to take the 2 bolts up off the top of the hardtop, like I had said earlier. They're the same T50, one on the driver and one on the passenger side. Go ahead and pull that out. And now we can go ahead and do the same thing on the driver's side. Now that we have the hardtop fully unsecured, we can go ahead and grab a friend and lift this off. And be really careful, scratch the paint of the vehicle. There is a roll bar in there, so what we're gonna do is back out first, away from the roll bar, and then carry it off.
So we're gonna start off by assembling our door rails. We have 2 pieces here. Now you want the ones that face in opposite directions at the ends. And then we have a couple bolts and nuts that we're gonna install to tighten them down together. So now we're just gonna take these pieces and slide them together. And then take your bolt from the bottom. Thread your nut on the other side. And do the same thing for the second hole. And then take a T30 Torx socket and a 10mm wrench and tighten those down. And then do that same thing for your other one. So now we can raise this up into place. We're on the passenger side door frame here. And then we're going to take our long bolts and go through the bottom up into the threads on the top. And then we have our short M8 bolt with a flat washer that's going to go into this hole back here. And then grab your T40 Torx socket and tighten all 3 of those down. And then do the same thing on the other side. Next, we can come right above our tail light and install our tailgate bar retainer. Just drop that into place, and then grab one of your M8 bolts, thread that in, and grab a T50 torque socket to tighten it down. And do the same thing on the other side. So now I've got our number 3 and 4 bow assembly laid down on the floor. We're gonna have to attach our quarter window retainers to this bar here. And then we have our pivot that's gonna go on the other side here. We're using these M6 bolts with this serrated washer. You want this rivet back towards this bracket here. And then you can lay it down on top and thread in your 2 bolts. And then I'm gonna get our pivot arm installed on here before we tighten it all down. And then take a 4mm Allen socket and tighten all of these down. And then do that same thing on the other side. Next, we're gonna attach our number 4 bar to our mounting brackets. So this is gonna slide right underneath of this little bumper. And now we're gonna take one of our Allen bolts with the serrated and flat washer. That's gonna go from the inside through. Now on the outside, we're gonna have this nut with a flat plastic washer going through that circular hole. And then we have this washer that has the little lip. That's gonna go on top of there. That lip's gonna be pointed outward. And then slide the notch of that nut into the rectangular cutout on the mounting bracket, and then thread your Allen bolt in. And then take your 4mm Allen socket, tighten that down, and do the same thing on the other side. So now we're gonna take that number 4 bow assembly that we just assembled, and we're gonna drop it on top of our number 2 and 3 assembly. Now these rectangular holes in the back are gonna mount up to the circular holes here with the same hardware that we just installed to mount these up. So just lay it in, get it in position, and then we'll install our hardware. So now you can take your nut, slide your plastic washer on top, put it through that outside hole, and then get your washer with the lip. Press that in. And then just angle that rectangular notch to get it to slide into that hole. And then take your Allen bolt with the serrated and the flat washer, thread that in. And then take your 4mm Allen socket, tighten this down, and do the same thing on the other side. Next, we're gonna need to attach these pivot arms. So once again, get your nut with the flat washer. We're going to this hole right here. Get your washer with the lip, slide that over it. And then line up that nut to go into the groove. And then get your Allen bolt with the serrated and the flat washer. And then take your 4mm Allen socket, tighten it down. Same thing on the other side. So now I went ahead and flipped our whole assembly over, and now we need to mount up our final bar. This is gonna go right into that bar up top there, and then we're gonna take our Allen head bolts with that serrated washer, thread them into the nuts that are welded onto that bracket, and do the same thing on the other side. So now just line up your 2 holes and thread in those bolts with the serrated washer. And then take your 4mm Allen socket and tighten those down. And then do the same on the other side. So now we're ready to lift our frame up onto the top of our Jeep. I've got myself a buddy to tackle the other side. We're gonna lay our mounting brackets onto the back side of our roll bar here, right above the speakers. Now we can install 2 of our T50 Torx bolts through that bracket into the threaded holes in the body. And then take your T50 Torx socket, tighten these down, and do the same thing on the other side. Next, we're gonna attach this pivot arm bracket to our roll bar here. We've got a little pin in the top that's gonna go into the slot. And then you can rotate this down. And you're gonna have to push up a little bit to get that hole to line up. And then take another one of those T50 Torx bolts, thread that in. And then grab your T50 Torx socket and tighten it down. And do the same thing on the other side. Next, we can come to our straps. We're gonna be disconnecting that as well as removing this locking bolt. So grab a 4mm Allen socket, pull that out, and then there's a white spacer behind it in between our 2 bars here. Now it's gonna wanna come up on you when you're removing this, so just grab a hand and hold it down. And then pull that out. Our spacer will fall down, pull that out. And then we're gonna undo our strap. And then do the same thing on the other side, and we'll fold this down. So now we're ready to start getting our top ready to go up and mount onto our bow assembly. Now I've got the front bar here that's got the 2 latches that are going above the sun visors. On each side here, we have 2 T20 Torx screws that we're gonna remove. We need to open up that flap in order to mount this to our bow assembly. You're gonna wanna hold on to these because you will be reinstalling them. So now just grab a T20 Torx driver or socket and remove these 2 screws. And then do the same thing on the other side and grab yourself a buddy to help you lift this up onto the top of the Jeep. So now once you grab yourself a buddy, go ahead and grab the bar that has the latches on it. We're gonna lay that right at the top here, and then we're gonna fold the rest of the soft top down over the windshield and the hood. So go ahead and flip that over and lay it down. So now with our top in place, we're just gonna pull this back and it's gonna reveal our 2 screw holes. So we can grab our frame and pull this down. We've got our bracket with the 2 holes that are gonna line up. and then we'll get our bolts and thread in there. So now just lay that bracket down onto your post, and then take your Allen bolt with that serrated washer and thread it into those threads. And now grab your 4mm Allen socket, tighten down your 2 bolts, and do the same thing on the other side. So now grab the other side of your top, and we're gonna flip this all the way over our frame. And then you can grab from the front, and lift this up so that it's sitting upright. So now with our top folded back, we can fold that flat back over and grab those little torque screws that we removed earlier. And a T20 torque socket, thread those in. And then we have this adhesive pad that we're gonna have to lay down. So peel the double-sided tape back in, and then line that up and stick it down. And then do the same thing on the other side. Next, we can attach our halo bar to our number 3 bow. So we're gonna take our Allen head bolt with that serrated washer and thread it into the nuts on our top. And then take that 4mm Allen socket on an extension and tighten these down. And do the same thing on the other one. And then repeat that process on the other side. Next, we're gonna grab the zip tie here and we're gonna cut it. We're gonna mount this up to this rib nut here. There's a flat side. That's the side that's gonna go against this rib nut. So make sure you have a good hold on it before you cut the zip tie. And then we're gonna take this Allen bolt. They give you a little bit of Loctite to put on the threads here, since you can't really crank down on this bolt. However, for demonstration purposes, we're just gonna be installing it without the Loctite. Go ahead and put it through, thread it into that rib nut. And take a 2.5mm Allen wrench and just snug this up. And do the same thing on the other side. So now you can fold your top down, and then we'll hop inside, and we have to install this fabric around our number 2 and 3 bows. So it's just Velcro, so just fold it down and fold it over. So just do that all the way across and do the same thing on your number 3 bow. So now we can move on to mounting up our windows. So we're gonna start at the top here at the corner. You're gonna peel that up to get access to this channel. You're gonna take this rod on top of your window and slide it into that channel. And then we can come to our halo right here. We have a spot for this clip to hook into. Hook that down and then get this tailgate bar in place. We have this button that's going to clip on to the other side of the button on our retainer here. And then you can fold out this piece that's going to hook right underneath of our corner piece here. Slide that under and push down to get that slide into place. Then we're going to come to the front here. We've got the same thing with that tab that's going to go into this channel here. So pull your slack, get it started in that channel, and then just give it a push towards the front of the car. Get it to clip in, and then work the rest of the way down. And at the bottom, same thing. Pop this out, fold it into that channel, and then push down. Line it up going the rest of the way over. Press down to pop that into place. And then you can hook this piece over the top here. And then you've got similar clips down here. Make sure that they're still there. And then you can get started on your Velcro. I'm gonna stop around here because we still have to get our back window in. So now we're gonna do a pretty similar process for our rear window. We're gonna start off by sliding this rod into our channel. Just get it evened up on both sides, and then we'll grab our tailgate bar to get onto this bottom rod and clip into our retainer. So now grab your tailgate bar. You've got your clips here that are gonna go into your retainers, just like that. We want this channel sticking out, and we want this rubber piece sticking down. So now just go ahead and slide that piece into your channel. And now take your tailgate bar and get it lined up with your retainer. And then you're just gonna be pushing down and rotating in. So now we can go ahead and take our piece and fold it over into this channel. And then we just have a piece of Velcro that we need to secure down here. You can do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll fold down our top. Just get this lined up, give it a pull, fold it over. Stick your Velcro down, do the same thing on the other side. And now just fold down your top, stick your Velcro down, and wrap it up. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Bestop Trek Top Glide Slant Back Soft Top and Premium Black Twill for your 2018 and newer Jeep Wrangler JL 2-door. Thank you for watching, and for all things Wrangler, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.
Bye.